Well, Aam Aadmi Party Member of Parliament and the man in charge of the AAP's campaign in Gujarat, Raghav Chadha, joins us on NDTV now. Raghav Chadha, thanks very much for joining us. Would you like to first comment on what Mr. Jariwala has said in the video that he has put out today, Raghav Chadha, claiming that he withdrew his nomination on his own and that the AAP is an anti-national party?
Nidhi, permit me to first take you through the sequence of events from the day Mr. Jariwala joined our party to the withdrawal of his nomination. Mr. Kanchan Jariwala joined our party roughly 2 years ago, has been tirelessly working in the Surat area of Gujarat and has given his blood, sweat, tears and toil to the party. Party rewarded him with a ticket because he wanted to contest on the election ticket of the party. On the 14th of November 2022, he filed his nomination with the returning officer from the seat of Surat East. He came down after filing his nomination, showed the victory sign before the cameras and said that I want to win this seat and I will dedicate my victory to the Aam Aadmi Party's national convener, Mr. Kejriwal. Subsequently, on the 15th of November, that is yesterday afternoon, the BJP raised certain objections vis-a-vis his nomination and they compelled him to come to the returning officer's office and withdraw his nomination. When all the objections and the issues raised by the BJP were set aside by the returning officer and his nomination was upheld, our candidate Kanchan Jariwala was abducted and kidnapped by the BJP. His phones were made to switch off. His family members were taken into the custody of the BJP goons and all his houses, offices, everything was locked and he was taken to an undisclosed location. I, along with my team, all throughout last night, were trying to track the gentleman. He didn't appear, he didn't surface, we couldn't find him. We complained to the Chief Electoral Officer, to the Surat Police Commissioner, to every administrative officer, we couldn't find him.
But then how do you know he was kidnapped? If I could just interrupt here, how do you know he was actually kidnapped by the BJP, as you say?
I'll come to that. This afternoon, Mr. Kanchan Jariwala, with connivance of the Gujarat police and BJP goons appeared at the returning officer's office. He was pushed, manhandled, heckled, and he was compelled to withdraw his nomination. Compelled, I underline the word compelled, under duress, under threats, under compulsion, at gunpoint, he withdraw his nomination before the returning officer. He made an application for withdrawal of his nomination. Today was the withdrawal day and his candidature was therefore withdrawn by the returning officer. He was then handed over by the Gujarat police back into the custody of the BJP goons and again taken to some undisclosed location in the second half of today. Then suddenly he of course now has surfaced and is also speaking to media and given to understand and is saying that he has listened to his inner voice, his antaratma, and has made certain statements against my party. Now, let me tell you, if my colleague Kanchan Jariwala, who was working with my party for the last 2 years, who gave his blood, sweat, tears and toil to my party, has been campaigning extensively until 14th November 2022 late night, suddenly on the 15th wants to withdraw his candidature. What is this? What do you make of this? This is nothing.
But how do you know he didn't?
Undue influence and coercion.
Sure, but how do you know that he didn't do that on his own, and that on what basis do you say he was actually kidnapped? Because that's a very serious accusation to make.
Absolutely, and I've chosen my words very, very wisely. He was kidnapped, and all this, even these sound bites that he's giving, are being given at gunpoint. They have put a gun to his head and to his family members. Let me tell you, his brother, his sister-in-law and his other relatives are also in the custody of BJP. BJP has threatened them and it is only and only to protect the life and of his family members and of himself and for his own well-being that he has now chosen to withdraw his nomination.
But do you have evidence of this, Raghav Chadha? Have you given that evidence to the Election Commission?
I met the Chief Electoral Officer of Gujarat. I met the ADGP Law and Order of Gujarat Police and I flew from Ahmedabad to Surat and I met the returning officer of Surat East constituency. I have raised my concerns, shared my grievances with all three entities. My senior colleague Manish Sisodia ji, the Deputy CM of Delhi, has met the Chief Election Commissioner of India. These are the 4 administrative heads who we could have gone to, and we have knocked their doors, hoping that justice will prevail and free and fair elections, which is the very essence of our democracy, will happen. Otherwise, what has happened today is a blot on India's democracy. And let me tell you, Nidhi, BJP today fears only one man, and that is Arvind Kejriwal. They are going to unimaginable levels, stooping to unimaginable levels to curtail the growth of Aam Aadmi Party, to a point where they are now resorting to kidnapping, abducting, threatening and compelling our candidates for withdrawing their nomination.
And what was the response of election officials, if I may ask, Raghav Chadha? What did they say when you raised this complaint?
Well, some of them said we will look into it. The returning officer, who I met roughly an hour ago, has said that we will certainly consider your plea and pass a ruling. And my principal argument before him, a legal argument that I placed before him, was that this withdrawal of his candidature is not out of his free will. This is not out of his sweet will. This is under duress, under compulsion, and he's being threatened at gunpoint to do so. And therefore, this act itself is void, must be termed void ab initio. His withdrawal application should be rejected. His nomination should be upheld, and he must be permitted to fight the election on the election symbol of the Aam Aadmi Party. Once he is provided some protection or some sense of protection by the Election Commission or by the administration, and these goons who have essentially ring-fenced him are made to go away, I am sure he will speak his heart out to you and to me, and will certainly confess all that has happened over the last 24 to 36 hours.
Are you going to go to court?
Well, we are still waiting to hear from the Election Commission. We've knocked on all doors. We are hoping for them to, uphold the rule of law, uphold the essence of elections, the free and fair elections, which is their duty. And therefore, we will await that first. After that, of course, the party will decide what is to be done subsequently, whether moving court or, hitting the roads, whatever we can certainly decide and act for the right remedy.
All right, Raghav Chadha, let's see where this story takes you all. Thank you for joining us. Surat East, of course, is important because the AAP actually did well in the local body elections in Surat last year, and gave the BJP a bit of a scare there. Right, Raghav?
You're absolutely right. It was given to understand that Gujarat is BJP's stronghold, and within Gujarat, if there is one fortress that BJP holds, that is Surat. Aam Aadmi Party defeated BJP within their fortress, that is Surat, and therefore BJP is rattled by Aam Aadmi Party's growth and fears that Arvind Kejriwal's rise and the groundswell of support that he enjoys today is going to, eat into the BJP, is going to, essentially rattle the BJP, and that is what we're seeing today.
Raghav Chadha, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.